Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today I am showing you at least bits of Thundurus and Tornadus GX. Now, you knew a little while ago, these are being released in the Forces of Nature GX collection. That's not particularly new. We know about this already. The good news is that PokeBeach.com do have a high definition image. It's been on Pokemon.com for about a week now. But a couple days ago, PokeBeach.com got a high definition image which we can use to see a lot of what they do. And I know it is a couple of days old, this news story. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, recently had a baby girl. You will have to forgive the slight lateness of some of these videos. We are catching up and then we're going to be golden. But I still like to think my analysis of these cards is going to be absolutely what you came here to see. So let's start off with Tornadus GX. Now, of course, Tornadus did have two EXs, one of which was alright, the plasma one, and one of which was amazing and was one of the primary cards in the deck with which I grinded into the World Championships. Let's say I've got a bit of a soft spot for Tornadus. So let's have a gander, shall we? 180 HP is just about standard, to be perfectly honest, for a basic GX. Yay! And it's a colorless Pokemon, so you're hitting nothing for weakness, and you're not getting any tricks, except, of course, you are going to be able to use double colorless energy and pop it into whatever deck you like, given that it is, of course, all for colorless energy. We can see that much. Now, we don't know these for a fact, but it's going to have weakness to lightning, and it's going to have a resistance to fighting. We know that because every Tornadus card ever released has, and because Tornadus is a purely flying type. In the trading card game, that means weakness to flying, resistance to fighting. That is guaranteed at this stage. Weakness to lightning, good, because you got stuff like Raichu GX, and that really is about it at the moment. Resistance to fighting, amazing, because it means that Buzzwole will do naff all, and it means that stuff like Lycanroc is really going to be struggling to get that KO on you. That's actually really nice. Now, we don't have full attacks here, because all we've got is an image of the product, and unfortunately we can only see so much, but we can see a bit. Double colorless energy, 50 damage. I mean, alright, it's 10 more than the Zangoose we looked at earlier today. That is about the best I can say about it. It's not particularly inspiring, ladies and gentlemen. It's just plain not particularly good. I mean, look, here's the thing. It is a turn one, hey, I'm going second, I can attack, there's a double colorless energy kind of attack. The problem is it does 50, and we've talked about this again and again and again. 60 damage is great. It means a turn 1 KO on a Zorua, it means a turn 1 KO on a Rouse, and a million other Pokemon. The problem is we really need it to do 60. Like the Tornadus EX that was released 5 years ago, because that's why it was so good. As long as there was a stadium in play, it did 60 for a double colorless energy, and you could pick off little basics from the beginning of the game. Not having that is actually a real pain and makes me very sad. The main attack here, we can't actually see too much. We know that it's for free colorless energy, and we can see that it does 90 damage, and you flip a coin until you get a tails, 30 more for each head. Like I say, the image here is quite small, but if you zoom in enough, you can read it, and that is what it says. I don't like the free energy, I don't like the flippy nature of it. Now, I do like that you can use Victini from Guardians Rising to increase the chances of hitting that heads. That's pretty nice. But I don't like the fact that you could just flip a tails, 90 for free energy. I mean, it's alright, but it's not particularly good. And with cards like Ultra Necrozma in the format, we are really moving towards a one-hit KO format. With stuff like Zoroark and Golisopod recently, we've been in far more of a two-hit KO format. Cards like Ace Roller have been used very widely. That's not where we're headed in the format at the moment. We are heading towards a one-hit KO format. And what is 90 one-hit KO? Now, if you can flip 3 heads, you're doing 180, 210 with a choice band, and then you're golden. But you've got a 1 in 8 chance, or 12.5% chance, of hitting 3 heads in a row. And I just don't like our chances of doing that. I don't think this attack does enough damage, and it makes me a little bit sad. Now, the GX attack might be amazing. We have absolutely no idea. We can see that it's for a double colourless energy, because if you have a look, there's no beginning of a third symbol there. We know it does 130. Presumably, there's another effect, because 130 for a double colourless is not good enough for a GX attack. But that is about it. Here's my thing, though. I actually do kind of like it. Now, when you compare this to other GX attacks, it's kind of flat out garbage. However, when you look at it as a basic Pokemon that can do it for one energy attachment, double colourless energy, and then you're hitting 160 with a Choice Band, 180 with a Kukui, and then of course, we've always got stuff like Tapu Lele, so you can find that early Professor Kukui. And now, actually, this might work. Because you see, 180 is enough to KO something like a Tapu Lele. You might be able to get a cheeky 2 prizes. Here we run into a big problem, though. It's 10 damage short again. Even with a Choice Band Kukui, you're up to 180, but stuff like Buzzwole and Ultra Necrozma have 190. A basic Pokemon for a double colourless energy, being able to get a one-hit KO on a GX going second turn 1, and really hampering your opponent's setup, that I could like. It is weak compared to most GX attacks, but being for one energy attachment on a basic could save it. We'll still have to wait to see if there's a secondary effect. I hope there is. If there is, maybe this will be better. No score yet because we don't have all of the information, but resistance to Buzzwole is good, and the GX attack could be good. The first attack does 10 damage too little. If it did 60 for a double colourless while resisting Buzzwole, I would be all over it. Now, as for Thundurus, we've again got 180 HP, but here we are going to have a weakness to fighting. That Buzzwole, Lycanroc, all that stuff I was talking about a minute ago, yeah, you're going to be weak to that. That is going to suck. As for the resistance here, we might get a resistance to metal. We don't know. The bad Thundurus EX did, and the one in Furious Fist did, but none of the others did. Similarly, we can assume a retreat cost of 1 here, which means that Escape Board could actually be really nice. Generally, Thundurus has a retreat cost of 1, the one exception being the bad EX. As a side note, all of the Tornadus also had a retreat cost of 1, except the Plasma EX, so no guarantee on the retreat cost here, but we can assume they'll both be 1 and use a skateboard. So weakness to fighting's gonna suck. Resistance to metal would be good for stuff like Registeel. If I had to guess, I'd say it wouldn't, but do bear in mind there is a decent chance that it will. And in terms of what you're hitting for weakness, I mean, Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is the most relevant thing at the moment, but a lot of water Pokemon, like Empoleon for instance, are weak to lightning, so maybe you'll get a bit of an advantage in that regard. But as always, it's the attacks. 1 lightning energy, search your deck for a lightning energy, attach it, and shuffle your deck. No. No. I say this all the time. This basically just leaves you in the active in order to take another hit. If something like a Gardevoir's on the field, you're taking an extra 30. Tapu Lele does an extra 20. All you're doing is attaching an energy and staying in the active, letting your opponent have the first hit on you. That's not good. I am not a fan of these attacks. Good news is this is releasing on July the 6th, so you will have a little while of using Max Elixir for both of these Pokemon. That is a better option, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, as another quick little side note here, with double colourless Max Elixir, Tornadus could be hitting 90 plus 30 for each coin flip on a heads, so there is an argument to play Tornadus as a full aggro deck. Just worth pointing that out there. But I don't like this first attack from Thundurus pretty much at all. Second attack, free lightning energy, 140. Good news, with a choice band, you're hitting 170. That's Tapu Lele territory. Bad news, we don't want to hit 170 at the moment. We want to hit 190. Buzzwole, Ultra Necrozma, etc. I just don't think this is good enough. I think we've got better options. And bearing in mind, shortly after this, we're getting Rayquaza GX. And okay, that's lightning grass colourless. But even so, Rayquaza GX is kind of looking at this at the moment and laughing at how pathetic it is. As for the GX attack, free lightning 100 times. Times your opponent's bench, times the amount of prize cards you've got remaining, times the amount of prize cards your opponent's taken, times the amount of energy attached to your Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon, times the amount of lightning attached to Thundurus. I don't know. And I don't really want to hazard a guess here, because if it was energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, well, that would be just like Tapu Koko GX, for instance. And it would be 50 times. If it was your opponent's bench, it would be just like Lycanroc, and that would be 50 times. I don't have a good inkling of what this is going to be, but it looks like it's a standard GX attack that gets a big one-hit KO at some point during the game. That's not exciting. Thundurus GX looks pretty bad. I'm not terribly excited. Obviously, when all of the text is revealed here, I will, of course, be doing a video about both of these Pokemon. They'll each get their own video and we can look properly. I'm not excited about Thundurus GX as I sit here now with admittedly incomplete information. Tornadus GX, with resistance to fighting, and the fact that you can potentially be hitting decent damage on turn 1 with a double colourless and maybe a max elixir, I could be a little bit excited. I think there is at least a little bit of potential with Tornadus GX, though we will have to wait and see. No WotC scores today because, of course, we are waiting for the full text because, you know, we are going to have to wait and see, otherwise it would be an unfair score. But I do want you to give me some predictions for these cards. Tell me how excited you are with what you know. Go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the WotC, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.